They were good, man.
Isn't it interesting that the kids that grew up that were into like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, those were not necessarily kids that were into the Beatles.
And some of them were.
My crew was all like Jim Morrison, was the Doors, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin. Van Halen was current. That was like the current band that everybody was into. But it was old bands. It was always played Stairway to Heaven. Or if somebody wanted to get crazy, you play Freebird. When that guitar solo goes on in Freebird, when you're 16 years old and you listen to that song, you're like, holy shit. To this day, that is, in my opinion, that's the greatest guitar solo of all time. That guitar solo is fucking insane.
There's so much good music, Joe.
So much good music.
It's so, like, you get caught up with one thing. During the pandemic, I got back into music. And I bought vinyl. I got into vinyl again. I fucking love it, you know? And it's so weird how an album will take you back. Like, I got an album now, it'll take me back for a week. Like, I'll play the album when I'm writing, when I'm doing shit,
Take you back to those days.
But you also hear things. That's why I don't like doing music reviews and shit. Because I learn more about the music the more I listen to it. Like, every time I put on, like, I don't put on Led Zeppelin no more. But you're in your car, you're headed back, you crank it up, you always hear something you haven't heard, and go, wow.
I used to always crank Whole Lot of Love when I was on my way to the store.
all that shit.
But that was the song. That was the song that I wanted to hear when I was on my way to the store. That fucking jam. Oh my God. And then there's like a minute and a half of fuck sounds in that song. A minute and a half is like, and with the little cymbals in the background.
Zeppelin 2 is very interesting because it's dirty. It's dirty.
Yeah, here we go. Give me some of this.
It's dirty. Let me go shoot a load.
Honey. This was the get ramped up to go to the Comedy Store song. And this sound sucks. You got to listen to this on like real speakers. Something about the way it's coming through my ears, it sounds like dog shit. Maybe I need new headphones.
No, it's some songs on YouTube for some reason don't sound great when we run it through here.
Maybe it's because they don't want you to be able to do that. Maybe they want it to distort so that you can't like just
I think it has
take
to
the music down.
Could be the cable I'm using. I don't know.
Oh, that's more logical.
But I mean, sometimes some things sound fine, and
maybe
other
we should get a
things
better
don't.
cable.
I don't know why some things sound perfect and other things don't.
Should we replace the cable?
It might not fix it.
Oh.
Is also the thing.
Okay.
It could be that.
But would it be nice if we could hear it like really good? That seems like it should be possible.
It also could be like I have to find a good source. You know.
Right. So some of these
might not be the best.
They're probably
place.
compressed too, right?
Yeah. It doesn't sound great either.
Keep it going though. Let me hear some of that.
It's better.
That's better. I had a 2002 Toyota Supra Turbo that I got the craziest sound system ever put into this fucking thing. This was like when I was on Fear Factor and I was like, what do you have? Like, what can you do? And they said, we can engineer a sound system just for your car. And I'm like, oh my God, let's do it. And they put, like, there was a subwoofer under the front seat, or under the back seat. Like, you couldn't push the back seat back, and these crazy speakers in the dash, and put speakers here and speakers there. And
they have that. You can put a microphone in your seat so they can, like, tune to your seat.
I don't know how they did it, but when I would play this in that car, the music would dance around the car. Like, you could hear the guitar from over here. You know what I would really hear it in? Was Seal. When you Kissed by a Rose, there's sound coming from all over the place in that song.
Well, what's that taping called, that style of recording? Because that's on that album. Because even when you listened to it when you were a kid and you had two sets of speakers,
that's what I was just saying. Yeah. What I was saying is my car. Do you remember that Toyota 911 Turbo? That's what it was. That was a Super Turbo. 911 Turbo. That had a 2002 911 Turbo. I had that crazy sound system in it.
Yes.
And that sound system, the sound would bounce around with that song. So that was like my warm-up song. When I was listening to that song and I was driving down Sunset, it was like coming, and with the humping sounds like,
Yeah, it comes
it's
from
like
all
drifting
over,
around
right?
the car. Give me some of that, Jamie.
So when you do acid or something like that, that's what you.
Oh, it's dancing
You
for
start
it.
hearing that fucking those little speakers. I've always thought if they recorded, like thinking that you were going to do acid, like Pink Floyd, I know recorded, thinking that you were going to be tripping.
Oh, for sure.
They
were.
fucked with you like that,
You got it?
Oh, I was looking for a stereo mix to see if I could find one that was going to do it better.
What was the name of the kid? Speaking of which, when you got to L.A., you bought a nice car, and then you didn't want it no more. Who did you sell that Super to?
Oh, that
Comedian.
yeah.
He disappeared
No,
after that.
it wasn't that. It was a Volkswagen. I had a Volkswagen Corrado, and he only had a certain amount of money. And I said, okay,
What
whatever
was
you
his
had.
name?
Fucking forget his name.
Did he date Kelly Kirsten?
I don't believe so, did he? But he was a nice kid.
Nice kid.
I was just starting to make some money. So
he was funny.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Man, some of them just the pressure, the overwhelming pressure of constantly performing, it gives them anxiety and they never survive it. It cracks them.